think it's time. I think it's time to let y'all know the truth. Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, this is such, I feel like, a random video, and I feel like it's time, and I feel like I am ready. And why am I getting teary-eyed? I'm not gonna cry, but I think it's time, and I think I'm ready to talk. If you're new here to my YouTube channel, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jaylyn Baez, or you can just call me Jay, you can call me Jaylyn, whatever works for you. If this isn't your first time here, welcome back to my YouTube channel, to my lucky charms. I call my subscribers, my supporters, my followers, my lucky charms. I just finished getting home from Carmen's house, and I was doing some thinking, and I was talking a little bit with Carmen and stuff, and I just went over to her house. We had like a little nice friend date, and we did some makeup. My best friend is a makeup artist, and yeah, so we had fun with playing with different eye looks, which is why my face is beat right now. It's literally 3:30 in the morning, and I am sitting on my floor with a light in front of me and my camera, so it's just me on my floor, raw. The only thing that's not raw about this video, I feel like, is the fact that I have makeup on. But I just wanted to talk to you guys really quickly before the feeling of me wanting to talk about it and just wanting to tell the story, before all of that goes away, because the feeling of wanting to talk about it and this experience and everything, it comes and it goes. So I just wanted to catch it while I was still in the moment, like go ahead and go with the momentum. So let's take it back, y'all. Let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit. Okay, so my birthday. For my birthday, my boyfriend Derek, he took me to Dubai for my 23rd birthday. I went to Dubai, and I was super excited. We kind of have this competition where we just like to outdo each other for each other's birthdays. Just spit, sorry. And I had taken him to Aruba for his birthday, and he surprised me with Dubai. And I just knew that Dubai was gonna be like an amazing trip. Like, I hate talking about Dubai because I get like teary-eyed, and like that, it's just like this part of my life was so like damn, like I don't want to mess up my makeup just yet. I'm not even telling anything yet. Why am I getting so emotional? I just really don't like to talk about Dubai, and it has there's a reason why I didn't post the Dubai videos right away, and why I prolonged, and I was like not trying to edit those videos and not trying to post those videos. But I just felt like I owed it to my supporters and to those who are constantly supporting me to just drop that type of video. It was cool, you know, we had a lot of fun, and while we were out there, I was actually ovulating. So I was ovulating from the beginning of the week. So from Valentine's Day to the day after my birthday, I came to terms later to find out that I was ovulating that whole week. So long story short, I basically got pregnant in Dubai. And I remember when I came back from Dubai was beautiful, everything was amazing. I had a really amazing time in Dubai. It was short-lived because we were in Dubai for about 4 days, and you know, while you accustomed to everything. So I was in Dubai for 4 days, and when I came back, I remember feeling a little weird, but nothing crazy. And then I remember my best friend Carmen actually came over to my house, and we had decided to film a reel for my Instagram. And I remember as I was washing my hair, she was recording me washing my hair, I told her, like, my boobs are just hurting me so much. Like, my boobs don't ever hurt this much. And it was to the point where the water hitting me was literally like painful. And I was like, oh my god, girl, this period is gonna be like next level. And she's like, imagine you're pregnant. And I'm like, girl, shut up, I'm not pregnant. Time goes on, and I randomly decided to just take a pregnancy test. And I was like, I highly doubt that this is gonna happen, but let me just knock it out the park. And I'm somebody that I can't wait. I could have waited until my missed period, but I like to have control over everything and control over situations. So I just was like, I'm gonna get an early pregnancy test, you know, and just find out. I remember when I looked at the pregnancy test, I was just like in shock, because I have personally never been pregnant other than when I got pregnant with Aubrey. Aubrey was my first and only pregnancy. So when I saw this positive pregnancy test, I was hit with a whole bunch of feelings and emotions, like, oh my god, like, I'm really pregnant. I will never forget the way that I stared at that pregnancy test. And I remember I sent a picture to my friends, and I'm like, am I tripping or is this a line? And Carmen was like, oh my god, that's a line. And I started crying hysterically because I couldn't believe it. And then, like, she was freaking out in an excited way. She was very excited. And I was just in shock. Like, I had to hang up and kind of just like get everything together, because I could not wrap my head around the fact that I was really pregnant. I was shocked. I contemplated on telling Derek. I didn't know if that was something that I wanted to tell him right away, but I was so excited that I was like, I have to tell him. And my friends are like, no, you have to find a nice way to tell him, you have to record it, you have to like film everything. And I was like, no, I cannot not tell him. Like, this is my best friend. Like, I tell him everything, like, you know. And I remember just sitting in the bathroom for a long time with the shower on so that he could think I was in the shower. And I remember I came out the shower and I threw on a really nice set. I had on like a red Fashion Nova robe set that it came with like a really nice kind of lingerie outfit underneath, and I just had my robe. I remember that same day, earlier on in that day, me and Dee had kind of gotten into like a little discussion where I was just being real snappy, and obviously this was the reason why, and I didn't even know. I was just so moody. I remember I took our memory box. So I do have a memory box. It's filled with our memories. And what I did was, inside I had our pictures, our Polaroid pictures, and I had one pregnancy test, and it was just on top of the memories. And I remember I was so nervous, like just walking to his man cave, because he was in his man cave, and I was like, you need to look at this box and remember why you love me. And he was like, what are you talking about? I do love you. And I was like, no, but I think that sometimes you just need to remember, you know. And I said that because we were arguing the whole day. And I gave him the box, and he looked inside. I said, look inside so that you can remember. And I'm gonna be using Aubrey's tray because this is in my room. And I literally remember he looked at the box and he was like, you're pregnant? And I didn't record the moment because I felt like it was a very intimate moment between me and him. And it was just something that just felt like shouldn't have been recorded. It was just something that I wanted to just experience with him. And he was like over the moon excited, like over the moon excited. Like, he picked me up and he grabbed me and he was so happy, and he was like, oh my god, we're gonna have a baby. And he was just stuck, and he like got teary-eyed, and he just was staring at the pregnancy test for so long, like, oh my god, like, we're gonna have a baby. And he was so excited. He was so excited. And things like this, they it meant a lot to me because I didn't necessarily get that the first time around. So seeing that was like it was a breath, it was like a fresh breath of air. So I remember we went to sleep that night and he could not stop talking like, oh my god, you have my baby in your belly. And that night I think was like one of the best nights that we had, like sleeping. We woke up, he was like, call out of work, don't even go to work, we need to celebrate. And I'm like, babe, I cannot call out of work because you want to celebrate us having a baby. He's like, don't go to work, don't go to work, let's celebrate, let's go. Where do you want to go? Let's go somewhere right now. And I remember he dropped me off at work, he picked me up from work. Like, it just was super excited. And he was so excited that he actually had wanted to go ahead and tell his parents right away. And you know, I'm just going with the flow, and we went to his parents' house that weekend. His mom started crying hysterically. His dad was super excited. That same night we went to her sister's house. She's a twin. His aunt is like a mother figure to him. That's like his second mom. So we went over and we let her know. She was hysterically crying, and it was just such a filling time. Like, it was so fulfilling. Like, it was like one of the best moments at the time. I remember we were on our way home after telling them, and we were gonna go pick up my sisters. And my sisters are like my best friends. I always tell my sisters everything. So I was actually starting to tell my sisters, I was like, I'm gonna pick you guys up, come over. And I remember I was like, oh wait, let me go use the bathroom before we leave. And because I had the urge to go to the bathroom more often. So I remember going to the bathroom and I remember wiping. And when I wiped, I saw like a hint of pink. It wasn't blood or anything, but definitely was I'm combining everything. I'm not trying to really give specific timeline dates or everything. So it's like Dubai, and then I found out I was pregnant one day, and then later on in the week we went to go tell his mom. So it's not like everything happened in the span of like 2-3 days. It may sound like that as I'm telling the story, but that's not how it actually played out timeline wise. So I remember wiping and I didn't think anything of it, because I did remember with Aubrey I had some bleeding, not real bleeding, but you know, spotting here and there was normal. It's normal sometimes. So I wasn't fazed by it, and it was so light that I didn't think anything of it. I remember when we came home, it all dawned on me. Actually, let me go back because I forgot this really one important piece of the story, and I just remembered it, and I feel like I can't leave it out because it makes a lot of sense. I remember I only took one pregnancy test when I saw the line, and then I'm like, oh snap, I had taken cheaper pregnancy tests, like, you know, the little strips, but I had taken like one of the first response one, and that's the one that we had surprised. Originally we were going to use to surprise them because we had put them in like a box for his parents, and D was like, why don't we give them 2 boxes, so pee on another stick. And I remember later on in the week or whatever, later on when I took the second test, I looked at both of them and I was like, babe, but they're both kind of like the same. Like, the lines were kind of the same. And to me that was a red flag, because I know firsthand from my pregnancy with Aubrey that as days go by, the pregnancy line, the line is supposed to get darker due to your hormones getting higher every day. And I remember calling my mom and telling her, she's like, no, you know, it could just be like, it's not picking up as much hormones, or I think you're fine, I think you're fine. I remember Carmen was kind of like trying to like not make me think anything. Dee was like, girl, you're fine, it's nothing. So when we gave them the pregnancy test, obviously they didn't know when I took both of the pregnancy tests. They just all took pregnancy tests on a line. So whatever, we come home, and in my mind I told Dee, I'm thinking, and I'm like, babe, you know, I wiped a little bit, I had a little bit of blood, and I was spotting a little bit, but I feel like I'm cramping, but not that much. It could be like a light cramp. I'm not 100% sure if this is a cramp. And he's like, your body is changing, like you're pregnant, you're carrying my baby. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, like you're right. And I kind of knew. Looking back at it now, I feel like I knew. And I just kind of was in denial. And I went to sleep, and I woke up the next morning. And I remember in the middle of the night, I kind of had cramps because I remember them kind of waking me up. And I went to the bathroom in the morning to do my regular, you know, pee. And I wiped, and there was just so much blood everywhere. And I lost it. Like, I lost it because I already knew it was. And I woke up D crying hysterically, like, babe, I'm bleeding. And he's like, what is it? What does it mean? Like, what does this mean? And I'm like, it's not good. This isn't good. And I remember I called my boss crying hysterically, like, I cannot go to work today. I had to go to the hospital. And I remember like wiping myself, and I would keep wiping and it wouldn't stop. And I remember at one point it stopped, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is just like something that is just like gonna go away. I don't know why I thought it was gonna just go away. And I remember he's like, come on, let's just go back to sleep. Come on, like come here. And I remember we went back to sleep. And I don't know if it's because being that I was laying down, I wasn't really bleeding as much. But I remember we got up again around 1 o'clock, and it was worse. The bleeding was worse, the cramping was worse, everything was worse. And I knew that I had to go to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and D couldn't come in with me due to COVID. You can't have somebody come inside with you unless they have like a COVID test. So D was very upset. He was extremely upset. And he wanted to come inside, and he couldn't. And I wanted him to be there, and he couldn't. And I remember going in and just like explaining it to them. And they put like an IV in me. They did a whole bunch of tests. And as I'm there was when my bleeding actually got even heavier. My bleeding was just like, oh my God. I was like, oh my gosh, there's no way in hell that I'm not miscarrying. And they came in the room. I was there for about 6-7 hours by myself. And I remember they came in. Oh, oh my God, I don't know, I'm crying. Oh God, I'm so annoyed. Stop crying. Like, I'm fine now. It's just annoying, like, to think about. I'm somebody that naturally, like, I don't talk about like my feelings. I kind of like feel my feelings for a day, and I like just push it to the side. But I want to talk about this because I remember feeling like, what did I do wrong? You know? I just feel like I feel like miscarriages aren't talked about a lot in this community. It's such a taboo, and people don't like to talk about it. People don't like to talk about it. And it happens. Sometimes these things happen. Sometimes there's a reason, but sometimes there isn't a reason why these things happen. It just happens. But I remember, oh God, I'm fine. I remember being in the ER, just praying like I'm so happy, you know, me and dear are so happy. Like, please don't take this baby away from us, you know. We had so many plans. Like, sorry, my camera stopped. The same day that D drove me to the emergency room was the same day that we were actually supposed to go to the car dealership and upgrade the car, or just, you know, we were basically gonna change the car to a bigger car, because he's like, I need more space in the car. I need space in the car for 2 car seats. Like, he was already making moves, like, from how excited he was. So it was just like, I was just like, please, like, don't take this away from us, you know. And I remember praying so hard. And then I know they came into the room and they did an ultrasound, and they also took my blood work because they wanted to check my HCG levels. I'm not sure if I said that right. They just basically wanted to check my hormone levels. And the blood work took a little bit of a time. It took a little while. And when they did the ultrasound, they were just like, there's nothing there. Like, we don't see anything. And they're like, you know, you were still in the early stages of your pregnancy. I was still in my first trimester, of course, but they were just like, you know, it happens. They were just very like, it happens sometimes we don't know why. It just happens. That's just basically what they told me. It just happens. Sometimes it happens. At least it happened early on, was what the lady told me. She's like, at least you were not like about to give birth. And I'm like, and I just feel like that didn't help me. That wasn't something that made me feel better. And then when they did my blood work, they told me that my pregnancy hormones were actually declining, so they were going down. And she had told me that they were so low that it was almost negative, but it was positive, just almost negative. So I was indeed miscarrying. And I just remember crying so hard because, like, I couldn't even have my boyfriend there with me. And the whole time he was in front of the hospital. The whole time he was in front of the hospital in his car, just waiting for me and texting me. And I just remember feeling so bad because I felt like I took something from him. I felt like it was my fault, you know? And it wasn't my fault. It was just something that just happened very naturally. But that feeling, like going through that feeling and then going through it alone in the hospital. So whatever, they discharged me, sent me home, and I came home, and I just, life kind of had to go on for me. Like, I'm a mother. I had to still, you know, put on a face for Aubrey. Aubrey couldn't see me cry. D and I took it very differently. D didn't want to talk to anybody for, I want to say D didn't speak to anybody, didn't go outside for almost 2 weeks. He didn't pick up anybody's phone calls. He didn't pick up his mom's phone calls. It doesn't matter who was calling him, he was not picking up. He didn't want to eat the first week. He was just very to himself. Just very to himself. And where me, I cried it out for the first day, and then I'm just somebody, which I guess is not the healthiest thing sometimes, but I give myself a day. I always give myself a day. And I give myself a day to cry it out. I cry so hard the whole day. I'll give myself the day to be depressed. I'll give myself the day to be lazy. I'll give myself the day to do whatever it is that I need to do to get it out of my system. But only one day. I give myself one day. And then I have to pick myself up. Because I'll stay there. I'll stay in that funk if I let myself. I have to pick myself up. I have a daughter who depends on me. Like I can't just stay there in that space. So I actually, which I feel like is something that I shouldn't have done. I felt like that was something moving a little too fast. I actually ended up going to work after that one day that I took to myself. I ended up going to work, and I just was working to just get that out of my mind. There was nothing I could do. And I remember just sometimes, occasionally, I would just walk up to D and I would just say like, do you resent me for it? Like, are you mad at me? And he's like, I could never be mad at you. I could never be mad at you. Like, that's not your fault. What happened is not your fault. But it just made me feel so guilty because I just knew how excited he was, and I was, and like his parents and everybody was just so excited. And then it was like, everything happened so fast, like just so fast. And the point of this video, I guess, is well, for starters, I took a break off of social media. I want to say, like, I wasn't posting for like about a week, and a lot of people were like, are you okay? Like, where are you? Why aren't you posting? And then like I remember getting not bashed, but I was very pressured into posting these Dubai vlogs. And for months I didn't post the Dubai vlog until, I want to say, maybe like basically the beginning of May. And it took me a time to even post the second part. I posted the first part and I couldn't post the second part because I automatically associate Dubai with getting pregnant and losing my child. So I shouldn't associate it with such a negative type of term, but it's just, I do. Like, it's something that happened. Like, I think of Dubai and I think about, wow, I had such an amazing birthday and I got pregnant. And then, you know, it's just something that I think about. So I didn't want to look at that footage. I didn't want to edit. I didn't want to post it. But I did anyways for my supporters. It took me a while, but I did. And yeah, I think that the point of this video and what I wanted to tell people was, of course, aside from my story, is just that I feel like miscarriages hurt, whether it's the beginning, whether it's in your first trimester, whether it's in your second trimester, or even it's in your third trimester. You know, that type of thing just hurts, especially when you have a plan and you're so excited and you would start to envision it a certain way, and then you just feel like it was robbed from you. I think that it just hurts all in all, all the way, all however you want to put it just hurts. And sometimes there isn't a reason why these things happen. And I don't want to say that it's normal, but it's common. I don't know if normal is the word I want to use. It's common, and it's so common. And I didn't know this myself because that was the first time I've ever miscarried, ever. This was my second pregnancy. The first one was Aubrey. The second one ended up, like, it was my second pregnancy, and then I didn't even end up fulfilling the pregnancy. So I always thought, like, I already was pregnant. I had Aubrey. Aubrey was textbook. It was like, psh, I know what I'm doing. I'm a mother. Like, I know what I'm doing. I had a baby already, like full term, 40 weeks, everything. I know what I'm doing. And look, like, you know. So for anybody that has experienced a miscarriage, anybody that knows somebody that went through a miscarriage, all I can say is that I feel for you, and I'm here for you, and I get it. I get it 100%. And I just feel like this is something that people should talk about more. I feel like these are things that people don't like to talk about. These are things that people are ashamed of and don't like to talk about. And I feel like that's why we don't look at this as something that's so common. When you look at the statistics, it's common, especially in the first trimester. It's like super common, which is something I didn't know. And I remember just feeling like so many people were asking me like, why aren't you posting, or why aren't you doing this, or why aren't you doing that, or people being so hard on me like, she's so lazy, she's not posting anything, she doesn't want to do this, she doesn't want to do that. And it's just kind of like, this is why I always say, like, be kind to people. You never know what somebody is going through. You never know what somebody is going through when you're being harsh. Like, I remember getting messages like, you don't even deserve your platform, like, you don't do anything, you know, we're waiting on this Dubai vlog, you don't want to give it to us. And the whole time I'm trying to get through a miscarriage, you know. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and maybe it just wasn't my time. Maybe it wasn't meant for me. I don't know. God's plan. It's God's plan. And I feel better about it now, but it's still a very touchy subject because it was a hard time for me and it was a hard time for my partner. And then it was hard because being that we were pretty early on, we weren't telling so many people. So it's like people couldn't really feel our pain. It was something that like, what's wrong with him or what's wrong with her? And it was just something that we kind of were just going through together as a couple. I do feel like this is something that brought us closer, much closer, and we understood each other. We shared a pain, we shared a loss together, and I'm very happy that I had somebody like him. Well, we had each other to pick each other up. So, and I also had like my friends, like Julani was super sweet. Julani was sending me like little arrangements and things like that. I just want to give people a hug because I never knew what that pain felt like. It's a pain, like, you know, you feel like that's your baby, like you lost your baby. It's like, my baby, like, what did I do wrong? But I just want you guys to know, you know, these things happen to not to everyone, but they happen even to like people you wouldn't think that it would happen to. Like, I'm sure people didn't think that I was going through that at that point in my life where I was kind of being weird, kind of being MIA, or just kind of being distant. I didn't want to post on YouTube, I didn't want to post on Instagram, I didn't want to post anywhere. I was a little bit snappier than usual. Just be kind, guys. You never know somebody's story. You never know what somebody's going through behind the scenes. And yeah, that's basically my story. I do feel better about it now. It's been some time, so I feel better. I didn't know if I would ever drop this video or ever talk about it, but I found the courage and the balls to talk about it today. And again, the reason why I do these type of videos, whether it's this video, my abuse video, it's just to be relatable to you girls and to, in a way, be here for you guys, because it was something that I got through. And if this is something you're experiencing, or this is something you have experienced, or if this is something that still affects you, this too shall pass. Like, this is something that you will get through. I don't know why they happen. I don't know what type of test or what type of, I don't know what type of thing this does. I don't know why it happens, but I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. And God makes no mistakes. You know, you start to think like, maybe there could have been something wrong, maybe the chromosomes weren't lining up, maybe you just start to think about a whole bunch of things, but always God's plan. And I am here for all of you guys. If anybody has any questions, anything they want to get off of their chest, I usually open my messages on Snapchat and Instagram. It's a little hard for me to get personal with you guys in the comments down below because everybody can read them, but my information is always in the description box if you guys ever want to find a way to reach me. I love to interact with my supporters on Instagram, Snapchat. Usually that's the way that I interact with people. You can always send me a private message. But yes, that is my story, and I'm in a much better place now. And yeah, I did it. I said my story. I told my story. I cried a little bit, but I got feelings too, you know. But no, it just makes me hug Aubrey a little bit tighter. It makes me realize how much of a blessing these kids are. Like, I say these kids, like, I know so many of us that have kids and that we're moms, and you know, I feel like so many of us, we just take that for granted. Like even me, like me being healthy and waking up and being able to open my eyes and walk and talk and eat, like I feel like we take all these little things for granted. Being able to see, being able to eat, like these are just things that little things that we take for granted. I thought that I was just gonna have a normal, perfectly fine, healthy pregnancy because I had a perfectly healthy pregnancy with Arby and a perfectly healthy baby. These are just the type of things that make me appreciate life more. Maybe, I don't know, sometimes maybe these type of things happen so that you can open your eyes and be more grateful, be more appreciative. Definitely made me hug my daughter tighter, made me like appreciate her more, be thankful that she's here and that she's healthy. So yeah guys, thank you for listening to my story. Again, I'm always here if anybody needs a shoulder to lean on, or if you guys ever feel like you guys want to get something off of your chest. Thank you for watching this video. It was a little emotional, but I'm sitting on my floor talking to y'all. I gotta go wash this makeup off and like watch some Netflix or something. I gotta watch some like Disney Channel or something to get me. I'm low-key emotional now, so I gotta watch some like Disney Channel or something so I don't just sit in bed like, yo, did I really just talk about this right now? So I gotta watch some like something funny, Disney Channel or something. But yes, I love you guys very, very much. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. Sending you guys my love, and I'll see you guys next time.